Hello Reds and welcome to the 100% United podcast transfer special. I'm your host TC and here's my co-host Scott. Hello mate.
Hello mate.
On today's show we track the growing transfer rumours surrounding Portuguese superstar Bruno Fernandes. We look at what the Nations League taught us about our targets and we welcome our first signing of the summer, Welsh wing wizard Daniel James. First, Bruno Fernandes, the rumours won't go away. We're hearing the transfer is done by the commissions for agents, etc. It'd be a fantastic signing for Manchester United. Time to get excited, Scott?
Well, there's definitely something to be excited about. I'm not sure if we can start putting his name on the back of our shirts yet, but yeah, certainly something to get worked up about, I would say.
Yes, mate, definitely. I mean, obviously he starred in the Nations League with Portugal taking home the trophy. He looked like a really, really confident player on the top of his game at the moment. And rumours have come from Italy today. Pietro Balzano Protta has said that it is all done by the commissions.
Yeah, but to believe that, you've got to believe that he was talking to clubs and talking to his agents, etc. throughout the Nations League tournament. I'm not too sure if I believe that. I think that maybe sometimes people put stories out to get reactions from the parties involved, and this could just be an example of that. I did read for a few days as well that he was holding out hope for a move to Liverpool and for Tottenham to come in, so again, this could be something that his agent or someone else puts out to get interest from other parties.
Yes, mate. Well, the rumour from this Italian journo is actually not a rumour sort of born as the Nations League is going on. He's saying that the agreement was agreed before. Now, someone fired back and said, yeah, you've got that from Ebola, which is obviously the Portuguese paper. And he quashed that. He said, my source is not Ebola. And actually, the interesting thing is that Bruno Fernandes' father was a scout for AC Milan. He was a Portuguese-based scout for AC Milan. So the Italian connection is there. And of course, Bruno Fernandes played for Udinese and Sampdoria too. Mm-hmm. So it's not a rumour without any substance. Of course, Bruno Fernandes is very close to his father. He wears the number 8 because his father wore number 8 as well as a player. Mm-hmm. So it seems like there's a lot of smoke for there to be no fire, mate.
But this isn't a player that we shouldn't be getting excited about, right? He is a world-class midfielder. Would add a complete...
He's amazing. Yeah. He's a great player.
Would add a whole other dimension. So it's an example of something I don't want to get my hopes up too hard, because if it doesn't happen, then I will be really disappointed. But if it does, it's a huge upgrade from Ander Herrera, I would say.
Yes.
Ander Herrera is very close to all Reds' hearts, but we've got to move on from that. And I think Bruno would be a big upgrade on that.
He would. I mean, he's a lot more attacking than Ander. Mm-hmm. One thing he might do is actually give us an insurance policy with the Pogba rumours around. I'd be a lot more comfortable with Paul Pogba walking through the exit door if we already had Bruno Fernandes in the club.
Yeah, and I think it'd be a huge upgrade on our corners, TC. Because I know how you hate our corners, and with him over there,
I think you would be an upgrade on our corners, pal. To be honest with you, honestly, yeah. There was a fake quote doing the rounds last night. Bruno Fernandes was reported to have said, "I've made up my mind. I'm joining a club with great history," but it was baloney. Yeah, that was a made up quote. Yeah. So it was just circulating. Obviously, the Nations League finished, and some people jumped on it. But mate, I'm not going to lie here. Bruno Fernandes, he's a superb player. He's banged in almost 30 goals this season. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Assists all over the place. Yesterday he was pulling the trigger from all angles, and that's with Ronaldo on the pitch with you. And normal people don't dare to do that. I was really impressed with him, and I've been really impressed with him. I'll be over the moon, mate, if this happens this week. I really will.
Yeah, I would too. I really would.
It would be awesome, mate. Now, listen, we've also... So let's have a look at the midfield quickly. Bruno Fernandes, the big noise there. Adrien Rabiot, there was a rumour that he'd done a U-turn and he was going to stay at PSG. That's been quashed. It's not true. He's not going to stay at PSG. Yeah. We're not going to hear anything on that, mate, until the 1st of July. That's when his contract's up. So it's very possible that we've got that sealed. We've offered him 170,000. I almost said million there. I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised with the way our wages are going. 170,000 quid a week. I can't see too many people matching that, mate. So I think that's a very high possibility. Got Thomas Partey, has been pretty quiet in the last week. We've got James Maddison, that's piped up. Obviously, he's a United fan. Now, listen, he's going away with the 21s, so he's not going to be back until the end of June anyway from that. So I can't see anything happening there. And is he the kind of profile we want to be looking at this point in time, mate?
It's an interesting one. I think that he would come with a £60 million price tag, which, again, for any other club paying that for him, it's good business. But for us to be paying that, he would be labelled as overpriced and what a waste of money, all that. Another one, I'm not too sure if he could live with that pressure of a massive price tag. But to be honest, the sort of player that we should be signing, to sign players with potential is a Manchester United tradition and something that we need to sort of get back on.
It is, but we've got a bit of talent in the midfield as well, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
In the 21s. So, I'd always sway towards that. Obviously, alongside Maddison, we've got Rice, Declan Rice, Longstaff as well from Newcastle have been linked. They're all kind of the same profile. Also, Eric Dyer of Spurs now popping back onto the radar. We obviously chased him before. He is a United fan. He hasn't played much for Spurs this season. My worry is, mate, is some of these deep line midfielders we're talking about. For me, they're sort of a younger version of Matic, sort of slower and cumbersome on the ball. I want someone to be moving that ball quickly back there now if we're going to move on from Matic. So we'll see with them. There hasn't been too much movement. One rumour that did pop up was Donny van der Beek. Obviously, he starred for Ajax this year, 22-year-old, 17 goals, plays all the way across midfield.
And up front.
Yes, he can, mate. He plays all over the shop. I will say this rumour came from Marcel van der Kraan. He's a Dutch football expert, but I think I'll put that in inverted commas because I looked through his track record. And he said Robin van Persie will definitely not be leaving Arsenal when he joined Manchester United. He said that Mats Hummels was nailed on to come to Manchester United. We know that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And he also said Wesley Sneijder was nailed on to come to Manchester United.
Oh.
Yeah.
As everyone else did, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And he also, just as cherry on top, said Frankie de Jong was going to sign for City a little while back too.
So he struck out 4 times over there.
Yeah. So that one we will take with the pinch of salt it deserves, I think. Yeah. So, mate, midfield wise, it's Bruno Fernandes week, isn't it? That summer's around here.
It is actually interesting to see that we did release the players who were out of contract, and Juan Mata was not on that list, and so maybe was offered a new contract, and we'll wait to see the developments on that.
Absolutely, mate. It seems to be that he has been offered a new contract, and the guy's got a great attitude. And we can't be getting rid of half the squad. We'll see, mate. We'll see with that one. Yeah, you're right. It looks like Matt is here to stay. So maybe Bruno might have to find a new number.
Yeah.
Our old friend Matthijs De Ligt obviously played in the Nations League over the last few days. Made a little bit of a blunder against England. Made up for it. He looked really strong throughout, mate. He looked like an absolutely fantastic player as usual.
It's incredible that he's 19 years old. He plays with the nous of a 30-year-old.
It is incredible, mate. It is absolutely incredible. He's got the physique of a man. He's got the mentality of a man. Yeah, he's superb. Although I did laugh at the comments coming from some of the England fans when he made a mistake against England. Them saying, "Oh, here's the new Phil Jones," just lining up the barbs for if he came to United. It's just great. After the match, Ronaldo had a little cheeky word with him.
Yeah.
De Ligt has subsequently said that Ronaldo told him to come to Juve, and Matthijs De Ligt said, "I'm going to go on holiday and I'm going to go and have a think about it." Which we've seen this one before, haven't we, with Mino Raiola, mate? The old "I'm going on holiday to think about it" trick.
If he starts posting stuff when he's wearing red shoes, mate, you and me are going to be all tongues wagging again.
Oh, God, not again. Not again. So, Matthijs De Ligt, mate, as we said, he had the Nations League. We said nothing was going to happen till after the Nations League, as expected. During the Nations League, other clubs have stepped forward, of course, as we expected. Look, he's a saleable asset. Everyone's after him. He's 19 years old. If we pull it off, I'm going to be dancing around the streets, but I don't think it's going to happen, pal. Really.
Let's not get our hopes up too far about that one.
No.
Because you said a few days ago in the last podcast, the fact that there are such huge clubs at the table as well, with Barcelona, PSG have just entered the fray as well, Juventus, all providing Champions League football, all providing pretty outrageous wages as well. It's just, it's one that without Champions League football, mate, it's going to be really, really tough to do.
It is. But don't forget, we did sign Pogba with no Champions League football.
That is true.
And look, mate, we are, like we say, we are relying on some strokes of luck. We are relying on people having a club in their heart. Getting a player in that we didn't expect to get in. Look, pal, over the last 6 years, if you're talking about sliding doors moments, there's many moments where we've gone for someone, got close to someone, missed out, and it ended up getting someone else, and it's been a disaster. We almost got Griezmann, didn't we? Griezmann fell through because of the Atletico Madrid transfer ban. Mm-hmm. So, if we'd got Griezmann in then, who knows what would have happened? Look, we finished second in the league, didn't we? And then we could have had Griezmann too, Who knows, mate? There's been many of those sliding door moments in and out where we've been on the bad side of it. So who knows, mate? BBC reporting today, Harry Maguire, we're still interested. We chased him around last summer. We thought 70 million was too much then. Why are we going to think 70 million's all right now?
I'm not too sure. Another one, I think if it's going to be a straight battle between us and City to be able to get him, he's earmarked to be Vincent Kompany's direct replacement. And given how John Stones played for England at the Nations League, he's probably going to replace him too. Awful. Anyway, I just can't see us getting our hopes up. I think it would be something that would come to disappoint us in the end.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too disappointed to miss out on Harry Maguire. I don't want to be spending 70 million quid on Harry Maguire. English clubs, they don't need to sell really, so they're gonna actually absolutely rinse us for cash.
It is outrageous, isn't it?
And it'll immediately start the old United bias, anti-United bias on Maguire.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, mate. I mean, he seems like a solid bloke. We'll see. He's better than some of what we've got, but we will see with that one. As we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, Ruben Dias, the rumours have grown now on that. I know we mentioned it before. He's got a 60 million quid release clause. Only 22 years old.
60 million euros, 50 million pounds.
There you go. Even better.
Yeah.
22 years old, 11 caps,
mm-hmm.
6 goals in 56 games for Benfica. So he does like a goal. Although Victor Lindelof did like a goal before he arrived at United as well, didn't he?
I think we're learning from that the Portuguese league is easier to score in than the Premier League. Victor Lindelof was on free kick duty for a long time for Benfica, but
he was.
I can imagine that we've been scouting João Felix all season, pretty much every game. That Ruben Dias is someone that we probably know a lot about. And, I think it's one of those, I wouldn't say backup plans, because I'd take him pretty quickly. But if we weren't to get De Ligt, if we weren't to get Maguire and Koulibaly, it's something that is possibly a bit of an easier deal to do.
Yeah, definitely. I agree, mate. Koulibaly's gone pretty quiet on that one. From what I'm hearing, it's gone a bit cold.
I read that we had bid £85 million for him this weekend, and then you don't hear anything for 3 days. It's crazy how these journalists, they just make up these stories, or they hear a whisper from here and there, and they print it as though it's gospel, and then it just disappears, and they've got no accountability. It's crazy.
I know, it's mental to just bury it and move on.
Yeah.
It's not that we didn't make a bid. From what I hear, we were chasing him, but they're just pricing us out of the market. So we'll see, mate. We'll see with that one. Reportedly, we've had a £40 million bid rejected for Aaron Wan-Bissaka as well, Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Right back, loads of gas. Him and Delo would certainly be set for the future, wouldn't we?
Yeah, they're saying that if we were to get a right back this summer, then we would potentially move Delo up to a right wing, which isn't maybe the most optimistic of moves for us to make. But to be honest with you, mate, it's the same sort of thing with Harry Maguire. Who on earth is making these valuations of these players? If Sky Sports News is anything to be believed, then you're reading that it's going to take a £60 million bid to be able to get a 21-year-old fullback who's never scored a goal, doesn't have an international cap, has played 45 games for Crystal Palace. It's insane. And they're sort of pricing that, Kyle Walker was £50 million, but he was a full England international, had played 180 games for Spurs or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me, mate.
You're right, mate. You're right. And that is something these days that you pay so much for potential. Obviously a lot of that potential doesn't come to fruition.
No, and we're seeing big price tags just weigh these players down.
Yeah,
I mean, as we said a few weeks ago, Alexis Sanchez doesn't even have a transfer fee, but the fact his wages are reported in every single article that's written about him. It goes on to prey on your mind, and I don't think such a huge pressure put on a 21-year-old's shoulders is going to be something that comes good in the end.
Yeah, especially in defensive position as well. Mm-hmm. I agree, pal. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, especially when we've got potential. Mm-hmm. I'd be looking at, if we're spending 60 million, you want a right back to go in there and be world class straight away. 60 million is for a world class fullback, in my opinion, and Wan-Bissaka at the moment is not.
Yeah, it would be the third most expensive defender of all time.
Yeah.
And it's for a player who doesn't even have an international cap.
Yeah.
It really is insane to me.
And you know what? It's the curse of signing from another English club, isn't it, really? The English clubs are so wealthy now that they can afford to hold firm, to say, no, we're not going to sell him until you match what it's worth for them. Yeah, sure, he might be worth about 40 million. But for them to sell him, the 40 million is just not worth it.
And I think it's as well just a different day and age, right? Like in Fergie's day, people would bend over backwards to go and play for Alex Ferguson. And now this crisis that we've been going through for 7 years is so highly publicised and everyone's under such extreme pressure that a lot of these players have got to be thinking, I wouldn't touch that with a barge pole.
Yeah, well, I want the players in who do want to touch with the barge pole, who want to come and who don't want to join a club to win trophies. They want to join a club to help that club be successful, not just to walk in and grab a medal and grab a trophy. I want them to come in with the desire and the heart and the passion to make a difference. And that's what we're going to get, pal, because at the moment we're, like you say, we're not as an attractive proposition as we were.
But it's crazy as well, right, that we've got all this publicity on these right backs that we're going to be bringing in to replace Antonio Valencia, and he hadn't even played for 8 months. Like, it seems like we've already got a replacement for him in Diogo Dalot and Ashley Young, if you want to count that as well. But it's not as though we're losing a player who played 40 games last year.
You're right, but at the same time, you'd have to say that the fullback spots, they do need a bit of strengthening. It's like, of course, we have been surviving, we've been getting by, but Ashley Young's going to be another year older next year. And realistically, you've got to say that Dalot is probably not ready for a top United first team. And Ashley Young is obviously not fit for purpose in terms of being a first-team starter at right back still. So I do see some sense to it, but there's other areas of the team that maybe need some...
Massively. Yeah, we couldn't score any bloody goals the last couple of months, mate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But then fullbacks help with that too, to be fair, because they are important in the modern game. And you know what? I did say that one of the things I'm sure Ollie will try to do is get some width in this team. Obviously, we're going to have a chat about our new signing, Daniel James, in just a second after we touch on the goalkeepers.
Haven't seen him with the shirt yet, mate. Can't say our new signing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, United printed his name on our official Instagram and with our official badge and everything with it, right? So for me, that's pretty much over the line. He's off with Wales, obviously. His dad's died as well. But listen, let's get through the keepers first, and we'll get to Dan James. I was just going to say that obviously Wan-Bissaka would add some pace, and then obviously we've got some added pace on that right side as well. So a little bit different from Ashley Young and Juan Mata going down there. Listen, mate, quickly let's touch on the goalkeepers. David De Gea still in limbo. The Sun has said that we're going to try and get Hugo Lloris in. No, thank you. No, thank you from me. I'd rather keep Romero.
I just imagine them sitting around this big hat with a bunch of names in there, and they just start pulling out a hat. They're like, well, let's see how many hits we can get on this ridiculous piece of journalism.
I mean, is it me, mate, or is it, to me, Hugo Lloris, he's not very good.
No.
He's really not. I mean, when it comes to the big occasion, he always looks scared.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
He really does. And whoever makes him captain all the time, I don't know. I mean, you're captain with eyes like a rabbit in headlights. I mean, yeah, bizarre stuff. Different rumour that I can get on board with is Jan Oblak, 26-year-old Slovenian, considering his future at Atletico, apparently. That's more like it. If David De Gea is going to go, then I wouldn't mind bringing in someone like Jan Oblak.
Yeah, born and bred a United fan, I was reading as well.
There you go, buddy. That's what we want, right?
Yeah,
I'd be up for signing that. If we're talking about Lloris and we're talking about some other names I've seen offending my eyes, I'd much rather keep Romero and maybe bring Dean Henderson back from Sheffield United.
Yeah, and Joel Pereira, don't forget. He's
absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
We've earmarked him for years for being a good goalkeeper, so this might be the time that he steps it up.
Yeah, I don't think he's ready for the first team yet, is he? But who knows, mate? Who knows? Some people didn't think that De Gea was ready either, and he surprised everyone. All right, mate, on to the forwards. Daniel James, almost our new signing, if we're going to be precise. As I say, mate, official Instagram, official paraphernalia. Daniel James, terms agreed. It seems that it's just the international break and the tragedy of his father's death has held it up a little bit, mate. But, God, we got the pace that we wanted in that front line, right?
Yeah, we definitely do. The Premier League record for the fastest player ever was Leroy Sané. I think it was 35.5 kilometres an hour. And last season, Daniel James clocked 36.5 in the first division. So faster than the fastest ever Premier League player, which is a bit of all right.
Fantastic, mate.
I don't think those records were around when Giggsy was early 20s. So,
no.
But, you know, one of those stories that Ryan Giggs is his role model.
Yeah.
And one of those with United close to his heart is exactly what we were just talking about.
Yeah, and Giggsy was saying, actually, in the last week, he was just saying that I've been chatting to Dan and just saying that he needs to get used to getting kicked. He said he deals with it really well, but in the Premier League, he is going to get kicked around as a winger, and it's that bravery. So it's nice to have Giggsy in his ear, the right role model. Giggsy knows the club. Giggsy's obviously talked to Ollie about it as well. So yeah, really exciting stuff, mate. As you say, he's absolutely rapid. He's not the biggest man, 5'7", 4 goals last season in 33 appearances. Newcomer of the year at Swansea. Got his first goal for Wales back in March as well against Slovakia. Looking like a nice addition, mate.
Yeah, again, I just hope that there's not too much pressure put on his shoulders from the get-go, and one that is given a bit of time to be able to settle in, and we don't expect him to light it up immediately.
No, mate. I mean, I don't expect him to be our only signing up the top. He's obviously a great start, and he's a right-sided player, which is really what we need, right? I mean, there's just been a glaring gap in our attack on that right side. At some stage in the last few years, it looks like we don't have a right side. Everything down the left, everything through the middle, and occasionally the right back will pop up on the right, but no one's out there.
Yeah, when we were starting to play Delo up there at right wing, he was fantastic because, again, so much emphasis was put on defending their right side being our left side of attack, and there were just huge gaps opening over there, and maybe it will give us a bit more balance, that we can actually be more than a just one-dimensional attack.
Yes, mate, absolutely. You got me thinking when I was looking at Daniel James and just thinking about getting a right-sided player. He got me thinking about when Ronaldo first played for United, and he played on the left a bit, played on the right a lot as well. And those first few years when he was a real out-and-out winger, and you talk to a lot of United fans, they actually preferred that Ronaldo, that 06-07 Ronaldo. And, when he burst onto the scene, the excitement, mate. Oh, God, what wouldn't I give for a young player like that again?
Absolutely. But just the appetite to never stop improving.
Yeah.
But, it did take him a few years to get a proper end product in his play.
Yeah.
Again, we just need to have a bit of calm and a bit of time to let Daniel James be the player he's going to be.
You're absolutely right, mate. Yeah, Ronaldo was rough around the edges. He was superb, but he was rough around the edges. And he continued that throughout his career, that hunger, mate, didn't he? I mean, the guy's unbelievable. He's another international trophy yesterday.
Yeah, another international hat-trick.
Just incredible stuff. And it's funny, mate. It just goes to show, I know sometimes we say that we're a spoilt bunch, and some United fans, nothing's good enough for them. And I've had to hear for the last... Well, it's been pretty much the last 10 years. Oh, we don't want Ronaldo back. Oh, I don't want Ronaldo back. He's finished. Oh, we won't play Martial if we buy Ronaldo. All this other rubbish. And every single year, Ronaldo is absolutely incredible. And every single year for the last 7 years, we've been absolutely abysmal.
Yeah.
So it does make me laugh. The people, we don't want Ronaldo. I don't want Sergio Ramos. He's an idiot. Yeah, sure, he might be an idiot, but he's an idiot that drags your team to trophies. I'm sure everyone else outside the club thought Roy Keane was an idiot.
Yeah, but these are the same people who you ask, if you were a United manager, what would be the first thing you do? And they said, well, sack Ed Woodward. It's like, well, no, it's not,
I think it's the other way around, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate, unbelievable. But, mate, I tell you what, Ronaldo, what a few years at United, and fair play to the lad. That mentality, I've never seen a mentality so strong in football in all my years of watching.
No, and still 34, 35 years old, just wants to keep improving and keep getting better. And he was asked after the Nations League if he wanted to retire, and he said absolutely not. He still wants to play in the next World Cup with this bright group of lads in Portugal have produced. And it just goes to show he's never happy with the unbelievable achievements that he's created.
Yeah, mate, and it doesn't seem like a coincidence, the fact that there is a new generation, a golden generation coming through for Portuguese football. Ronaldo's had a big hand in that.
Huge,
He's led them, he's shown them the way. He's shown them what's possible. He's put Portugal properly on the football map. God, it's always been around there, but you know what I'm saying.
100%, and he's up their standards, right? He's shown this next generation of players what is possible, and long may it continue.
Yeah, mate. I tell you what, those few years that he lit up Old Trafford, I'll never forget them. It's just about the top level of performance I've ever seen from a United player. Just for those 2 or 3 years. I was lucky enough to see almost all of the games live. And always the biggest surprise, to people come to Old Trafford was always, they were like, God, I didn't realise Ronaldo was so good. I didn't realise he was so fast in the flesh.
We didn't realise. He kept surprising us.
Oh, mate, it was magic.
And I'll never forget that goal he scored, the semi-final away to Arsenal, the Champions League semi-final. That free kick from almost 40 yards.
Absolutely sensational.
I remember thinking to myself when he was lining up, thinking, he's not going to do this, is he? He's not going to even try and shoot.
The commentator said, as he wound up, even too far for Ronaldo.
Yeah, just kept surprising us.
Almunia was all over the shop, wasn't he?
That's a good point, actually.
God, he was fun. He was great fun, Almunia, wasn't he? But yeah, mate, Ronaldo, what an unbelievable player. Just incredible. I can't speak highly enough
Yeah,
about the
and
guy.
somehow managed to leave us and still be held in such high regard and so fond in our hearts. Even after those silly comments that he had made and seemed like he was really trying to get himself out of the club in the last couple of years. But he's always
Yeah.
he's always talked about us with the utmost respect, always held Sir Alex in the highest of regards. And I'm just really happy that we've been able to witness such an unbelievable career.
Yeah, mate. And again, those sliding door moments I was talking about earlier, I was hearing of the beginning of the year, the summer before Fergie went, that Ronaldo was nailed on to come back to Old Trafford the following summer.
Yeah.
But obviously, during the season, things changed for Fergie. I believe his wife's sister died, didn't she? And Fergie felt that he had to be the support to his wife that his wife had always been to him throughout his career. But I did hear from a number of different places actually that Ronaldo was nailed on to come back. And I do think if Fergie had stayed at Old Trafford for a few more years, then when Ronaldo had his little fallings out with Real, we may have got him back, and these dark years would not have gone on for so long.
Do you think that's maybe just because Moisey didn't send him a text?
Oh God, Moisey was texting everyone, mate. Don't you worry about that.
Didn't text Ronaldo though, did he?
But Big Mo was the only one who texted back.
Yeah.
So Ronaldo, he obviously left the number 7 shirt, and we've never seen another number 7 live up to the likes of your Robbos, your Besties, your Beckhams, your Eric Cantonars.
Yeah.
But one man who could take on that mantle and bring the glory back to that number 7 shirt is Antoine Griezmann.
For sure.
There has been a rumour in the week about PSG, and he said himself, I know where I want to go and the sacrifice I have to make to get there. I'm just asking for a little patience. As soon as I can say it, I will say it with pleasure.
Reminds me of Zlatan.
It does, mate, and it doesn't. I mean, what sacrifices would he have to make to go to PSG? Not many, really. I mean, it's his home country.
Playing the Farmers League, mate.
Say that again?
Playing the Farmers League.
Yes, but he's a Frenchman. So is he going to be describing the French league as a farmers league? And is he going to be thinking going to Paris is a sacrifice? To me, that seems it's either a sacrifice as in he has to take less money for going to the new camp, or he has to not have the Champions League and come to United.
Yeah, or he's not going to be able to take his free kicks with Neymar and Mbappe there. That could be another sacrifice. Who knows?
Good man. The other one, picking up a bit of pace.
But
Go on.
Let's just talk about Griezmann for a second, because he would be an absolute game changer.
He would.
And one of those that would be able to bring so much to the table instantly, and maybe one of those who'd be able to live with the pressures of playing for United.
Yeah, absolutely. Walk in and accept the pressure straight away. If we could get Griezmann and Daniel James in for the forward positions, and then concentrate on midfield and defence, I'd be over the moon with that, mate. But yeah, you're right. He'd be an absolute game changer, Antoine Griezmann. He does support United. His family, him and his bro, they love United. And look, he's won the World Cup. He's had massive days in his career. Maybe he's ready for a challenge bigger than any he's ever had before, really.
Well, yeah, he's always said he wanted to play in the Premier League. And if you look at the opportunity available to him, there really isn't, in my eyes, much, unless Liverpool get rid of Mo Salah and City get rid of Sergio Aguero. You can't imagine he's going to go walk into those teams and be able to play every game.
Well, I mean, I'd say he'd get in, but you'd have to say that, like you said, City are going to be having to replace certain people. They might be spending 70 million quid on a centre back. Liverpool, like you say, if they lost Salah, yeah, sure, I get it, but I can't see them going out and spending 106 million on Griezmann when their attack's already pulling up trees.
Yeah, I can't see him playing for Spurs.
No.
Chelsea got a transfer ban. I can't see him going to Arsenal.
Never going to happen.
Yeah, so if you start eliminating the places he can't go, then we seem like actually a pretty logical club that he could go to. Yes,
mate, absolutely. And so he's looking really, so you've got Barca, PSG, and ourselves. And don't forget, mate, we're still Manchester United. We've had some dark years and whatever else, but look, 3 years ago, Liverpool were up slack alley, weren't they? And the truth is that they're blooming fine. I mean, I watched a clip the other day of someone slagging off the Liverpool owners 3 years ago saying that, they're running the club into the ground, blah, 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 blah. If you'd just switched the names for Manchester United, then it would have worked now for the Glazers. And look, things have turned around, things have changed.
Yeah.
So, sometimes it's best not to get too hysterical and to look at what we can do to sort it out. Gareth Bale rumours popping up again, mate. Available on loan. Might be a nice foil for young Daniel James. A couple of Welsh wingers back in, finally filling our quota back up after Giggsy left us in the lurch.
Yeah, you just won't stop with this, will you, mate?
With a Gareth Bale.
It's been almost as long as I've known you. You've been begging us for Gareth Bale.
This is the last summer, though, mate. This is the last summer. After this summer, he's too old. All right, I promise you. Okay.
Well, that's what they said about Ronaldo.
No. But Ronaldo's different. This is the last summer with Bale. I promise you. All right.
All right.
My last stand.
But I would take him on loan. I think that could be a really wise bit of business. And I think Real Madrid have actually overspent what they're allowed to right now without even getting Pogba or Eriksen. That they need to start raising funds to be able to adhere to the FFP regulations. And they're just begging us to get rid of him and James Rodriguez.
Yes, also available.
40 million quid you're reading.
Yeah.
Again, could be a bit of good business.
Yes, mate. I'd say with James, like I said, if Mata turns down the contract, if we don't get that sorted, I'd be up for James. I think if we keep Mata, then I don't see the point in getting James Rodriguez in unnecessarily.
I'd like to see Juan Mata maybe tear a leaf out of Giggsy's book and maybe move infield a bit and be a bit more of a creative playmaker in the middle of the park. He's obviously doesn't have the pace that we need to be a winger, but definitely has the nous to be able to pick a pass out and pull some strings from the middle of the park.
He does. I just worry he doesn't have, obviously Giggsy had the gas to protect him. He's getting slower for a winger, but he was still rapid for a central midfielder when he moved there. I just think with Mata, even on the right wing, when he loses the ball or loses out in a physical tussle, once they get past him, there's no way he's catching them, and it does open our team up a lot. Look, if we sign the right players, and so we had a solid defence, a solid midfield, then absolutely, I'd love Mata drifting around in front of them. But we need some bodies in there before we can allow people that freedom, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
So mate, that's pretty much where we're standing. Bruno Fernandes looks the most likely at the moment. We're hoping for some news next day or two, really, with that one, with the Nations League now all done and dusted.
And the European transfer window officially opens tomorrow on Tuesday.
Yes, exactly. So we're looking for a busy week, hopefully, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Fingers crossed, mate.
Yeah, fingers crossed, mate. Let's hope we have some action in the next few days. Come on, Bruno, get over to Manchester and make our summer. Thanks for joining me again, Scott.
Thank you, TC.
Cheerio, Reds.
Tara.